This points at a very larger debate on reservations in general, and for the longest time, intellectuals have been debating about it. And they also have gone to the extent of saying maybe it's time to look at reservations based on economic background and not caste divide. What is your opinion on
We
that?
could move towards an economic criteria, but we need data for that. Without data, you can't move towards that. People live in joint families, so you might not actually have any assets in your name, but you still come from a very comfortable background. So there are, see, for example, this reservation which we give for medical colleges and engineering colleges for government schools. That's a good step, because people who go to government schools are economically and socially deprived, and they are the ones who are at the lower end of the totem pole. That's a good step. So if you say anybody who studied in a government school from, say, standard 6 all the way to standard 12, they should be given some criteria. I think that's a welcome step. So we need to come up with other markers. But merely because do you have assets or liabilities, I mean, you could be part of a large joint family, and you could actually live in a billionaire's joint family and not have any assets on your name.
Because this comes from a place where a lot of people belonging to the forward caste as well who may not have access to.
I understand. That's why we have to go through this economic criteria. Economic criteria could be a criteria, but we need data for that. We don't have data for that. We don't have individual data for an 18-year-old, whether they have access. So the access to government school or to a private school, that could be a good demarcating factor. So we need to come up with other matrices, not merely do you have wealth or no wealth, because it can be very misleading.
Would it be right to say that political parties will never do away with caste-based reservations only with the vote banks?
But you can't see. I don't believe in caste. I negate caste. I don't belong to any caste, and I never ever have ever said that I have affinity or I show belonging to any kind of particular socio caste group. I don't do that. But the point is that it is a reality in India. There is caste-based discrimination. That we have to accept that social reality, and that reality must also be acknowledged, and that must be a factor. But whether that's only going to be the factor and we're going to negate economic factors, I don't think so. But to have economic factors, you need data, but we don't have data. Where is the data? How do we gauge this? So as I said, we need to come up with reasonably acceptable parameters by which we can use other than merely caste identification. I agree with that.